Now I'm going to use pastel pencils to investigate this little flower. What I've done is I've started with a very, very light line drawing because I'm in pencil, because I find it quite a difficult shape to deal with, and I feel a little bit more confident if I begin with a pencil. I could have started with a pastel pencil, but the pastel pencil of course is a darker colour. And then over the top I've just double checked my measurements. I've made sure how tall the flower is in relation to its width and made sure that I've got the angles right. And now I'm going to think about investigating in colour. So I'm going to start with my darkest tone, which is on the trumpet of the flower. Following that through wherever I can see dark tones on the flowers, and I'm just using the point of the pencil, rather scratchy noise I'm afraid, and building up with little sort of scribbly strokes. Here where the petal turns underneath, I'm following the form a little bit, allowing the colour to mix with the grey tone of the paper. I notice that there is a little bit of dark purple on the edge of the flower too, and on the spine of this petal here, and a little bit through the back, although I don't want to press too hard. I want the picture to look as though these petals here are in the front. So I use my firmest strokes. There's not a lot of directional light on this flower to give me 3 dimensions, so I'm having to use my marks to give me a feeling of the way the petals are bending. Now I'm going to move to another colour because my purple blue wasn't quite right for colour. I want to give the impression of this sort of pinky purple, and I can lay a slightly pinkier colour over the top of my blue. I'm not worrying about the little veins on the petals as yet, but already I've got quite a strong sense of the form of the flower and the colour, which helps me to understand the flower a little better. You can do images of this kind in your sketchbook, even using pastel pencils. Just make sure that you fix them afterwards. And now finally a white, which I'm going to stroke on quite gently. I don't want to build up the colour too strongly just yet. Again, following the form, breaking over where the edge isn't quite so clearly defined in places as it is in others. I think I'm going to leave the grey of the paper there to mix with the colours that I've used visually. There's a little bit of light tone on the top of edge of this petal here and through there, and just in the back here and behind there, and to lay my white over my colour, which will mix with the colour in parts. Just a few strokes back there to get the feeling of the light tone, and again here. As you're working, you'll find that your perception sharpens and you notice more and more. When you first look at a flower, you're looking at it in quite a general sort of way, and then gradually as you work you become more and more aware of nuances of detail. I think it's important to mention at this point that my work is not that of the botanical illustrator or artist, so I'm not too concerned with absolute photographic accuracy, much more concerned about the feeling and the spirit of the plant. See how quickly you can fill an area of colour with pastel pencils. And there's light breaking across the stem from this side, which I'm going to emphasise with a touch of white, which blends beautifully with the green. And I think that will do for that little study.